Hi and welcome to the channel, welcome to a new video. Again, I've got to start this vlog off really with, again, a big thank you to everybody that's been subscribing. Don't know what's happening, and I like what's happening, don't get me wrong, but it's just good. There's been a lot of people coming on and a lot of getting all the new followers on the Caravan Industry Expert Facebook page as well. Let me just get this a bit more sorted out. Right, so I'm really pleased about that. So thank you again for everybody and for everybody that's commenting. Now, I'm amazed the amount of comments that the GoBore posted, to be honest, both on the Facebook page Caravan Industry Experts and also on the video. Because to be quite honest, a lot of people are saying they didn't know they existed, and maybe that's been part of the problem. They used to advertise quite a bit, did GoBore, and they sort of seemed to stop. Maybe they were relying a lot on a lot of their old customers, and they have new ones. But the two guys that ran it, they were just brilliant, as I said before, and I just hope they're going to have a good retirement. But as I say, it's a shame that that company was never sold on, because forgive me, I still like to cough, don't know what it is. Gosh, I might have started a drink before as well. Anyway, they ran that company and they did a good job of it, generally over the years. So everything now will be getting cleared out. But also, let's go back to Elddis. Now, this week, as we speak, the last of the motorhomes will come off the production line. Another end of an era after just over 40 years of producing motorhomes. Elddis will stop at Dells Lane. It's absolutely criminal. I'm afraid it is. Now, there's supposed to be a 2027 trade review. I've not got my invite. I don't know why, but I've not got my invite. I've emailed them to say, is this happening? And if so, I'll try and get across there. And if I do, of course, then I'll report on. But what I'm hearing so far is that Nigel Burland, one of the subscribers, that probably some of you'll know Nigel. He's been on one or two of the videos. He said he saw some new Elddis caravans for 2027. Now, I know let's put it this way, I've got a good contact who said that they think the 2027s won't be for 2027. They'll be more like for 2028. Now, the Heimer Group, Bursner, they've stopped producing caravans. They're just going to produce motorhomes. And now Bursner started off with caravans. And made some good tourers. Again, never really hitting the mark here in the UK. They had a bit of a flash in the pan at one stage from about 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, when there was quite a lot of demand for tourers. And UK suppliers couldn't always supply. So Bursner came in and they produced some quite good solid caravans, but they were still a very continental caravan. And out of those caravans now, I've not seen any around at all. You hardly see a used Bursner now of a certain age around. So they've all gone and bitten the dust like any UK manufactured caravan. But what I believe is that they're going to make Elddis Taurus in the Bursner factory, which will be basically, from what I can gather, Bursner caravans with an Elddis badge on. Now, going off my experience over the years, many years, is that I don't think that's going to work. And I've mentioned this on the vlog a while ago, that if they do this, it's not going to work. Now, the motorhomes are going to be deathless, I believe. They're going to have the door on the wrong side. And again, they're going to be badged Elddis. Okay, some of you may say, yeah, but they'll be better made than the concept ones. Maybe. But they still won't feel like a concept built motorhome. And somebody might say, oh, thank God for that. But no, you're getting the wrong part of the stick there. Wrong end of the stick. Basically is UK buyers like their unique UK tourers and motorhomes. They like that Englishness, if you like. Yes, there's those that like the continental ones, but mainly most of the buyers like UK vans. So hence why they say the market's really has gone really hard this last year or two. You know, Adria struggled. I've got a local dealer, he's still got 3-year-old brand new Adria still, and he still can't shift them, and he's dropped the price. Knaus, again, hardly a Knaus dealer in the UK. They started bringing them in about 10 years ago. They were going to get this, that and the other. It never happened. And it never was going to happen. The vans were okay, but there was still a German feel about them. And they tried to make them UK, but it just don't work. And in the end, they just basically fizzled out. So, where's it going to leave Elddis? Well, I personally don't know if Elddis will succeed in the UK market under, you know, being the badge just stuck on a continental produced motorhome or caravan. I believe the Buccaneer name's gone, which I'm a bit surprised about. That might appear. Now, if you go onto Practical Caravans Facebook page, it'll tell you more on there. But also, while I'm just at it as well, sorry to do this, but, you know, magazines, you might think you don't need them anymore, but there's nothing like a magazine. And yes, I do write for them, and I've done 30 years this year for Practical, and I've written for many magazines, and I've seen them come and go. But they really are still an essential thing. You can pick them up, read them anytime. You have to turn anything on. You're not looking at a computer screen. And they've got some interesting facts in. And also, you'll see my used guides in Practical Caravan in there, where we go into more in depth than I can really on the video. So, that's my plug over for Practical Caravan. So, subscribe. They've always got an offer on. Get it brought to your door, honestly. Right, so, back to Elddis. We shall have to see what happens. We shall have to keep and watch this space, as I say. Now, I don't think there's going to be much new in 2027. I can't see much in the way of new models. Somebody said to me the other day, the market is big enough now for what manufacturers we've got left, which is basically Swift, Bailey and Coachman. And that might be the case, but we shouldn't be shrinking the market and making sure we've got enough to keep going. We should be actually expanding it. And I still believe, I think some of you said this on, commented, especially on the old Sprites videos, how caravans were simple. But not only that, they were cheap and they were affordable, but also they were lightweight. And over the years, caravans have got heavier. And I think we need to be going back. And if we look at caravans like, for those of you who remember, like the ABI Monzas, they were an absolute storming caravan to own. Monzas were a real good, smart looking bread and butter tourer, which really stole a lot of Sprite sales. And they basically led, by the late 70s into the 80s, they were leading in their market, which was entry level. They did some special variants of them, so they sort of put a fridge and a heater in and called them Monza Supremes. And other manufacturers did the same. So I think that market of cheap, lightweight tourers with family layouts, I think that's the way to go a bit, because I think the age of the big caravan, heavy caravans, could be on its last legs now. Once the vehicles have gone through them, people can't tow them anymore. They will just become a sort of small, expensive static on a site somewhere. I think that's what might happen. Anyway, I hope not. Now, I will be doing a trade show this next weekend. I'm up at Stoneleigh. It's my park home leisure show. I do lodges and things, and that's going to be for the other channel. And I need to get that other channel up and running, better with some content on there. But this channel's taking a lot of work up. But not only that, I am writing a new book, and it's really been hard work because, I told you, for those who might remember or whatever, is that my brother's been very poorly. I moved him to a hospital now 30 miles away from here at Blackburn. So it's a 60-mile round trip. Excuse me. Which means you're talking, by the time you've got there, gone up to the ward, done your visiting, come back in, 4 or 5 hours have gone. And I've not had the time to go to a dealer. And I feel really guilty about that, because normally I do. I'm always at a dealer's. So, I need to get some more dealer feedback. One dealer I do know, I was speaking to some weeks ago, they said their used stock was doing nicely. And they were a Coachman dealer and said they do really well with Coachmans. There you go. So, motorhomes. Well, motorhomes, the problem is going to be with motorhomes, I think that we're going to see a lot of stock with some very heavy discounts. Now, we had a period of time where motorhomes were really selling very well. They were selling, the fact is that an older motorhome would sell at very good money, and probably too much for actually the motorhome was worth. Well, I think those days are over. I think those days are going to be numbered. I think what we're going to see is a lot of motorhomes sat on dealers' forecourts waiting for a customer. So the motorhome market could be in for a bit of a crash. And the problem with the motorhomes is there's more money tied up in that stock than there are in caravans. And hopefully I don't have to report any dealers going by the bar, because we're losing dealers too many. We lost Dice but in Glasgow there. And, you hear rumours about other dealers, which I won't go on about here because it's not fair to do that. But we just don't want that to happen. I'd like to report on new dealers coming to the industry, not dealers going by the by. So I think motorhomes, I think we're going to see some people who have spent a lot of money on a motorhome, when it comes to trade them in a year or two later on, they're going to be pretty disappointed, and maybe it might become unaffordable. But generally, I think the tourer market used seems to be quite good, and the prices seem to have firmed up. We're getting well into the season now, even though we're into June, but we're already seeing discounts on new tourers as well. So, and that will continue. So, again, nothing totally new. That's happened in years gone by. At this time of year, we're seeing discounts, but it was a rarer thing. So I'm going to sort of sign off from this vlog. Again, thank everybody for watching, and also thank you for all those who've sort of sent me sort of well-wishing messages about my brother. Nobody knows him. I understand that, and I won't start dragging up, all those sorts of issues in my vlog. He's been very poorly, and when you do, he's my eldest brother. He's my only brother. And when you sort of saw him as always sort of like it was fine, just doing normal stuff, and that he was into his aircraft and all that sort of thing. He could tell you all about aircraft. And then all of a sudden one day he's taken down with an illness, and next minute he's bedridden and can do very little. It's you know, that sort of thing. It's sort of upsetting. I'm sure you've all been through that. Some of you probably will be going through that, whether it's a sibling or it's your parents. We've been all through that. But anyway, we'll not dwell on that. I'm hopefully going to go and see some coachmans in a few weeks, some 2027s. Again, they'll be embargoed to August, usually about middle of August. But if there's anything interesting, I'll be doing videos on them. And also, I need to do some new stuff. And we've got one, as I say, we've got one classic caravan left to come on for the moment. And that's the Cheltenham Oribe. I think Oribe. Oh, well, I can't pronounce it at this moment. So, and I kept calling it a Springbok, and I don't know why, but anyway. But I've done an intro into that. So hopefully get that video on soon for you to look at. And then next month, we've got some more classic caravans coming out. And also, we're going to be looking at doing the rest of the whole industry history as well, because I think that is very, very important to cover. So, on that note, thank you again for watching. If you've not been subscribing, please do subscribe. And I'll do the old quote, what everybody says on YouTube. It helps the channel, and it will do. But also a big thank you again to everybody that's come on board, and for those that have continued to watch this channel through thick and thin. There's been times when I look back now at some of the content in the early days, it wasn't particularly well presented. I know it wasn't, and maybe it's not all that brilliant now, but at the end of it, you know, I'd like to think we've improved a bit. So I'll see you on the next one. And again, thanks for watching. And please keep giving me comments. It's very important. I hear from you, and I'll always do my best to reply. Thanks again for watching the channel. Bye for now.